Hi guys, welcome to Olive's Tree. I'm Mandy and I'm one of the 12 branches on my mum Olive's Tree. Thought I'd bring you along with me this morning while I make a boiled date loaf. Really economical recipe, more healthy than other cakes as well, and not a lot of ingredients in it really, just basic things out of your pantry. And obviously a carrot. So let's have a look what I've got going on down here. All right. So I have a cup of carrot here that I've grated, and I know it looks a little bit more, but if you push it down, it's just a good solid cup. So I'm just going to pop that into my saucepan like so, and I'm going to cut off a piece of butter because there is 60 grams of butter in this as well. So let's open up this butter. And we can guesstimate, or I do have my scales here, so I might. It's usually a thing, isn't there? So let's just go there and see what that comes out at. Whatever it is, we'll use it. Okay. 67, perfect. That's fine. Alrighty. So now we have a cup of carrot, 60 grams of butter. My butter is salted, therefore I won't add any salt to the recipe at any point. Okay, just need a little drink of water, sorry guys. My bottle's empty, it's always the way, isn't it? All right, I'll move those scales out of the way. Now into that pot, 1 cup with the butter and the carrot, I'm going to add 1/8 of a cup of quick oats. But if you've only got normal oats, just blend them up a bit, or just use them. I'm sure they'll be fine. And that'll add some fibre to this recipe. And it will also add some moisture because we'll be boiling this together in a moment. On top of that, well, it's a little bit under. I'll just put a bit more water in here. Okay, on top of this, we're going to add some water. And we're going to add some sugar. There's not a lot of sugar in this cake. It's not a very big cake either. So that's 1/4, 2/4, a scant 3/4 of a cup. You can knock it back to 2/3, but I prefer the 3/4, but that's up to you guys. All right, so we have in here oats, carrot, butter, sugar and water. To that, I'm going to add some spices. Now, I don't have any mixed spice and I usually make my own. And this morning I just was looking at things about spices and I noticed it came up that mixed spice in England is different to what we have in Australia. And in Australia, our mixed spice, especially this brand, which is Wheats, it has coriander seed, it has nutmeg, and I can't remember now. I'm going to have to look that up. I'll put it up on the screen. But then it came, I looked up and I wondered, does it change from country to country? And I had a look and I found that some recipes popped up for English mixed spice and it had cloves and it had 5 spice added as well. And I thought, oh, okay. I wonder, is that a general thing on mixed spice in Britain? So if you're from Britain, could you please put in the comments what ingredients are on the back of your packet of mixed spice? I would really, really love to know. So having seen that the British mixed spice was different, maybe it was just the one that I saw, I'm going to add a few loose spices instead of making up my mix today. So I've got half a teaspoon of ginger, but I normally put in about 2 teaspoons of mixed spice. So I've got half a teaspoon of ginger, and I have a little bit of nutmeg, about the same. Some coriander seed powder, ground. That can all go in. That's about the same. And I'll add in some cinnamon. Just a tiny bit more cinnamon. I do love cinnamon. And the 5-spice, no, it wasn't 5-spice. It was allspice. Okay, I'm not going to put 5-spice in there. I don't know what I'm thinking today. Anyway, bear with me a little bit. But I really do want to see what's in your mixed spice. That's what I'm trying to say, mixed spice. I had some cloves, but I just can't seem to find them. Anyway, maybe I thought I bought them and I didn't. That happens sometimes. So the next thing we're going to do is melt all of this on the stove. So I'm just going to turn that on so we can get that starting. It's not going to fit there. I'm just going to have to put it out of the way like. All right. Okay, so I'm going to start this on a fairly high heat just to get it going, and I want everything melted. And then what I'm going to do is pop a lid on and simmer it very gently for about 8 minutes. But I don't want any of the moisture to dehydrate or to evaporate, sorry. We want that moisture in the cake. All right, so let's just get that going. And I'm going to cook it in the kasori. And I'm going to cook it in, I did have a loaf pan that fitted in the kasori. And I think I might have given it to one of my daughters. So I have its pan. And I'm going to say it's probably a, I don't know. I'm going to measure it. I'll grab a ruler and we'll measure. I'm pretty sure I have a ruler here. Yeah, I do. Okay, let's just measure. So it is about a 6-inch really by 8. So it's a 6 by 8. And that just fits into my kasori drawer. So I'm going to be using this pan to cook this recipe. So I've got this heat up. We just want that to melt and come to a boil. We want to melt that butter. If you wanted to speed this up, you could have used boiling water from the kettle, and that would start the butter melting, instantly, so it wouldn't take so long to come to temperature. There are other things that you can add to this mixture. I often put in 3/4 of a cup of sultanas or mixed fruit. Excuse me. Sometimes I'll put in half a cup of chopped walnuts and half a cup of fruit. And sometimes, like today, I'll just leave it empty, leave it plain. It tastes like I don't know, if you like old-fashioned recipes, you'll love this. It has a texture almost of a date loaf. You can butter it, which we usually do. You wrap it up in the paper I cook it in and some foil and keep it fresh. You can do all sorts of things with it. You can't really toast it, though. It doesn't toast that well. I know a lot of people toast banana breads and things. This one's not for toasting. But having said that, though, if it starts to get a bit dry, you can just warm it up in the microwave briefly, and your slices, pop some butter on them. It'll be just, lovely. Freezes very well. I haven't frozen the mixture raw, but I have frozen the cooked loaf very successfully a lot of times. So that's something else. And I'll put a costing up at the end. It's just really inexpensive, like 1 carrot, 2 ounces of butter, 3/4 of a cup of sugar. It's just a couple of dollars to make it. You don't require an icing. You don't need a frosting. So, you're going to save some money there as well. And with the porridge and the carrot, it's got a lot more fibre than a basic cake. So that's really good. I really like that. Okay, so it's just come to the boil. What I'm going to do now is turn it down. I want it to simmer. I don't want it to boil over, so I'm going to turn it down and I'm going to pop a lid on so I can see through that lid. So that's always handy. I might just have to watch it closely for the first little bit so that it doesn't boil over. And I'm going to set a timer and we'll boil that for 8 minutes. Alrighty, our time is up. And this is what we have. So it's just a liquid. The carrot's softened, the porridge has softened. And to that, I'm going to add a teaspoon of bicarbonate of soda. Hopefully I've got a teaspoon left in this box. Might have to tip it into a tablespoon so that I can measure it. Whoops, that's way more than I need. All right, about that. This is the best thing about this recipe. You don't have to be 100% precise. If you put more spice, less spice, half an ounce of butter less, half an ounce more, you'll still get away with it. Half a cup of sugar. It just won't be as sweet. Okay, so I've got the heat off. That's foamed up nicely. And now all we do is sit that aside and leave it to cool to room temperature. Okay, guys, so here is our carrot mixture cooled down. It's a bit thicker now. All we need to do is to add in our 1 beaten egg, which I have here. Drop in 1 beaten egg. And I've got just under 2 cups of self-raising flour. And I'm going to add that first. And if I need a little bit more flour, I'll just put in, a spoonful. Depends on your flour and it depends on the day. And sometimes carrots have more moisture as well. They're a bit juicier at times. When they're old, they're a bit dry. So, you just have to mix it up and have a little look. Okay. And I thought I could smell, you're wondering what I was doing then. I just had to smell the mixture. I thought the egg was rotten. And even though I had checked it, I don't know. It's not. It's just me treatment. It makes my smell get really weird. I think, things aren't right or they are right and they make things smell different. Okay. So that's so easy. Look at that. Just a spatula, nothing else. And I don't want to add any more flour to that. It's a nice sort of, loose dropping consistency. Here's our dish. I did leave the spoon in there earlier, so I didn't have to clean it up. That's going to be fine. Now I've checked this dish and it fits into the kasori. So this is normally what I cook it in. So I'm just going to get that into the dish as best I can. Waste not, want not. Get it all out. Okay, you don't even need to smooth it around. It's going to do that itself. Those in a little bit. I don't like those creases filling up. Okay, now sorry is already warmed up, so we're going to pop it in at 170. Just pause that for a moment and get this drawer out. I may need a cloth. I don't trust myself here. May need a cloth to lower that. Hopefully I don't burn myself. I don't hold out much hope that I don't, but I don't know how I'm going to do this. Not the easiest pan to get in here. Oh, goodness me. Got some lifters. What did I do with them? Just here in front of me. Here they are. Let's just see if we can grab this. Oh, dear. Honestly, today's one of those days. Don't you have to laugh, though? You got to laugh. Oh, it's not going to move. Oh, okay, all right. Plan F. We've been through the ECD. I'm just going to hover it over and drop it. It wasn't that difficult, but when it's been preheated, it's very hot. Okay, we've got it in. It's all fine. All right, so let's change that time to 10 first, and we'll press start. So I'll see you in 10. Okay, 10 minutes is worn off. That time, oh, it's risen a lot. I'm not going to put any foil on it. Just show you quickly. Okay, I'm going to get it back in there because it's still in a rising phase. I will drop the temperature. I mean, I had it on 170, but because I've stopped it, I'll have to do that again. I'll take that back down to 170, and I'll take this down to, I'm going to give it 7. Alrighty, so it's gone off. Let's have a look. All right, so that is 16 minutes. It's still not cooked. I'm not too worried about how brown it is at the moment. I think I'll just pop it back in. Give it another 5. Alrighty, let's have a look. Let's get it out, and I'll get you where you can see. All right. It's come up quite nicely. I know it's not cooked, but I think it will need to be covered with foil now. I'm just getting out a skewer to test. I might actually probe that and see what the internal temperature is. Can you see that at all? I think you can. I hope you can. So what are we up to? 63. Okay, so it's not cooked. Let's just get a piece of foil. I bet you this is the last bit on the roll that won't come off. Oh, I know. Oh, look at that, just the right amount. Don't you love it when things work out? Now I'm going to try not to burn myself if I can. Get that down. Oh, so hot. Just going to grab a couple of knives to hold that down. So, and I'm going to pop it back in for 10. Okay, so our boiled carrot cake is just warm. Perfect. I'm just going to get it out of the container and cover it. Alrighty. We've got a lovely golden bake, which is nice. Just going to lift it out. Like so. And you can see where I dropped it when I put it into the air fryer. We got a bit of a splash, but that's okay. That's not going to matter, is it? All right, I'm just going to take a very small piece off. I don't know. I don't like the edges of cake, but I will, tough it out. So we'll cut one run off, one slice, not one run. And I'll just lift that up so that you can see it's lovely and soft. All right. Let's get a little bit of butter on there. I mean, you don't have to put butter on it, but why wouldn't you? Is my question. All right, let's just a little bit off. And, a couple of friends said to me, Mandy, I love what you're doing, but you don't taste the things when you cook them. And so I'm making a conscious effort to try everything on camera, all right? And I know they're not, they taste great anyway, so don't know why I wouldn't bother, okay? All right. It's really lovely. Sorry. Got to swallow. I really like the spicing that I put in there. And I think I might have asked you earlier, if you're in the UK, and you have a packet or a jar or however you buy mixed spice where you live, if you could pop a comment, pop it in the comments for me, the ingredients in mixed spice in your country, if they're different. Well, you probably won't know what's in Australia. I'm not sure if I said earlier. So it's basically, I've forgotten again. I'll find it before. Now, just before I go, I think I did ask you earlier if you use mixed spice in your home and you don't live in Australia, if you would have a look on the back of your packet or bottle for me and pop the list of ingredients in the comments so that I can see. I'd be so interested to know what is in mixed spice in your country. And up until I found a little snippet yesterday, I had no idea that it was different from what we have in ours here in Australia. So please, wherever you live, if it's outside of Oz, please pop it in the comments and let us all have a look. I'm just so interested by it. And I might even put together a sample jar of that mixed spice from, forget a few countries, and I'll try them in recipes, and that'd be great. All right, guys, so this was an absolutely simple bake, very economical one. I'll put a costing up for it, the costing, although it will be in the description with the recipe. And I say I'll put them up here, but I forget. So I always remember to put it in the recipe. So let's just stick with that format for now. So thanks for stopping by today. I've enjoyed your company. Take care, and I hope the world's all treating you kindly, and bye for now.